characteristics. So we talked about some of the shared risk factors, right? Like brain chemistry, family, maybe depression, anxiety, some social interactions, that kind of stuff, which really overlaps between eating disorders and substance abuse. And then there's also some additional shared things, as I was saying before, with like the isolation, where your eating disorder might tell you like, no, cancel plans, things like that. And then both illnesses do have an increased risk, for suicide. So it's definitely possible. It's one of those, like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, because sometimes or often people with eating disorders have low and substance use, like have all those risk factors like low self-esteem, depression, anxiety that are kind of baseline for suicidality. But so it's all interconnected a little bit. But again, that's not to say that everyone that has an eating disorder or everyone that has a substance abuse problem is suicidal or at risk of suicide ideation. But some people are.
I just want to throw that out there in case somebody was like, again, like, well, what are they just going to lose weight? Like, oh, they got a little sick. What's the big deal? But the big deal is, there's the health issues, but then there's, the mental issues and the mental health issue, and, suicide is a factor. So
actually, so eating disorders, we used to say that eating disorders had the highest mortality rate of any mental illness. And that statistic changed across the eating disorder field within the last year or two, and it's now that eating disorders have the second highest mortality rate of all mental illnesses, only surpassed by the opioid epidemic. So exactly, the potential for death and the dangerousness of eating disorders, whether it's because someone is suicidal or because of physical health complications from their eating disorder. Unfortunately, there's that real risk.
Well, they can reach out for help. Like you said earlier, there's stuff for families. There's stuff, just all kinds of information on your website, and it's very valuable too. And whether you suspect somebody or you just want to talk to your kids about it and say, hey, look, you might run across this one day. Your friends might, run across this. You might notice this in your friend, like, don't be afraid to say something. Here's what you can do, and here's how you can say it, without being like, Stephanie, why are you doing that? Not, I don't know why that voice came out either, but
that's exactly why education is key, always. And I just want to end at least my part by saying, so you were mentioning the woman before, and you were kind of expressing how you were feeling bad that you didn't know what to do, how to help her. And that's valid and that's wonderful, but also, like, for loved ones or friends, it's people need to help themselves sometimes, and so you can be a great supporter, but family members or friends don't cause the eating disorder. And just as you were saying, even the fact that you like are now educating yourself about it, given the situation with her, I think is really doing something wonderful. And so, I'll end on that. You're welcome.
Thanks. All right, Chelsea, I appreciate you so much, and hopefully people will be hitting your website up to do a little education.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks again. If you ever need me for anything, let me know.
Absolutely.
All right,
take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Chelsea Kronengold. See, now that she's not on the phone, I can't pronounce her name. Kronengold. Anyway, Chelsea, the National Eating Disorders Association, and of course their website is nationaleatingdisordersassociation.org. Thanks again. And that really does hit home a lot of the things that she was saying, and it might not be exactly like the addiction that I went through, or maybe a family member of yours or you were going through or went through, But it's just the whole people don't understand kind of thing. And if you're in recovery, you know what I'm talking about, and you explain to somebody that you used to drink a lot, or, I don't even know how much explaining you do. I don't really tell people how much I do or how much I did. I just say I'm in recovery. But getting that, okay, you're an addict, huh? And people don't understand, that I wasn't drinking because it was fun anymore. I wasn't drinking because it tasted good. I was drinking to escape, whatever problems I was having, whatever mental issue was going on, that I was too proud to admit that I had a problem. I'm a man. I can't be depressed. It took a long time for me to get over that. And I was supposed to, according to society, just go to work, buy a job, come home, drink beer. That's normal. Go to work, come home, have a house, have a car. And I was doing all those things, but I was miserable and I was lonely and I was sad and I was depressed, but I couldn't admit to those things. At least I didn't think I could, and that's part of the addiction is, and they'll tell you in AA, accepting that you're an alcoholic and coming to terms with it, that you have a problem. That's the first step, admitting you have a problem, But anyway, eating disorders, it's pretty hardcore. Thanks for listening. If you need more info on us, hit us up on Facebook. You can check out the resources pages too at 217recovery.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again on Thursday.